Joining us now, U.S. Congressman, 5th District Republican, Denver Riggleman. Congressman, great to have you with us, sir.
Thank you, and I just came in on a red, so I had to actually leave my house to do this call, John, because we lost our phones, our internet, all that kind of stuff in the storm. I think we had a lightning strike. So,
you had a lightning strike there. Plus,
so came up here to Crozet, and I'm in a coffee shop doing this, so I came up here so I could talk to you this morning.
Oh, thank you, Congressman. That's so nice of you. It would have been easier of you to just cancel. I really wanted to have you on today because I can't tell you how upset I am about two of your committee chairs in your district, in the 5th District, censoring you and criticizing you, and now saying they're going to abandon your campaign or whatever they're doing because you presided over a gay marriage in your district a couple of weeks ago. Now, let me just lay this out here, Congressman Riggleman, and I'll make all the truth in advertising disclosures. I'm a pro-gay rights Republican and a pro-gay marriage Republican, and I've been for 40 years. I've been thrown out of every Republican Party committee I've ever joined over this issue until recently. So that's where I come from. The fact that right now gay marriage in America is legal. The Supreme Court sanctioned it. And so you have constituents in your district who want to get married, and you presided over their wedding. They happen to be two gay males. It is legal in America, period. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. It's legal. It's the law. Now, here's the problem, Denver. Here's the problem. There is no Republican Party of Virginia that can get anything done. They have 3 people in some office in downtown Richmond with a leaky roof. They don't even have a legitimate coffee pot. They've got a fax machine, a phone. There is no Republican Party of Virginia to speak of. They have no money and they can't raise funds. Now you've got people on your committee faced with political Armageddon in November if they don't hold the House of Delegates, and I'm really fired up over this, if they don't hold Kirk Cox's gavel in November, the Republican Party in Virginia is not going to have any elected officials running anything for a generation. They're going to lose the Senate. They're going to lose the House. They're going to lose 2020 again in Virginia. They will have lost 17 races in a row. And instead of focusing on keeping the House and trying to win Virginia in 2020 for Trump, you've got committee chairman in your own party censoring you over presiding over a legal gay marriage of 2 people who want to get married in your district. Now, if you're going to tell me how that makes any sense in putting this party back together and getting rid of these petty grievances that just continue to suck the very oxygen out of this party in its room, tell me where here that I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, I think, thanks for that, John. I can tell you're fired up. And, I've been a bit overwhelmed on both sides, not only with the support that I've received, but also some of the vitriol. And I think that's what's making you very angry. It's not just been, it's not just been, hey, we don't agree, but, the Republican Party is the party of freedom, right? We're the party of Lincoln, John, right? We're the ones, who advanced emancipation, who fought for civil rights. And I find it amazing at this point that people don't think that civil rights and religious liberty can actually live with each other. I think the other thing about this marriage that has been really surprising to me is I don't think people know this, but you do know that those 2 incredible people actually were door knockers in my campaign. They're Republicans. So now we're starting to get to the point where we're excluding conservative individuals of our community who want to get involved, who want to stay involved, who have these issues where they're pro fiscal sanity, right? These people are pro individual rights. These are really conservative individuals who just happen to be gay, and I think it's a shame that we have this kind of what word am I looking for, John? This kind of reaction to something that's legal, to people that we want to include in the party, which it doesn't matter to me what party you're in, to be honest with you. But people we want to include in our party and our civil discourse, and people who love each other. It was really a simple thing for me. It was 2 friends. My wife loves them. They're just really great people, and so I did it. And I did it with the best of intentions, and I think we just have some people out there who maybe have taken this in a direction that's very damaging to themselves and to the party, but also to civil discourse.
Well, Congressman Riggleman, let me just say that I'm proud of you for doing that. I'm honored to be your friend, that you stand up for your friends regardless of their sexual or religious orientation. And so I'm proud of you. I'm a bigger supporter of you today than ever based on what you did. Those of us that have gay members of our family who are happily married understand how important this is to many gay couples and gay people in America and certainly in Virginia. And look, there was a time to debate this, and that debate is over. And now the Supreme Court ruled. You know what? I mean, it's almost like gambling on baseball and football. That argument is over. The Supreme Court settled it. You want to bet the baseball game tonight? You want to bet the Nats? Bet them, right? It is legal now. The Supreme Court says it's legal. That debate's over. It's done. You're not going to change that. So the fact that you went and presided over and presided over a gay wedding of your two friends, and now you're being censored by people in your own party. Look, how are you going to ever get this party back together and win when you have this kind of nonsense going on? And then you've got sites like the Bull Elephant, who are friends of mine, and I love Janine Martin. They're all good people. That's my site. When I have something to write, I go to them. But now they're propagating this nonsense. And it is absolute, it's disgusting that committee members of your own party are censoring you for presiding over the wedding of two people that love each other, who want to get married, who are your friends, who knocked on doors for you. Like, what is wrong with these people? Look, go ahead.
John,
I'm sorry.
First of all, the
I'm
committees
really upset over this.
Sadly, don't represent the complete constituency of all these counties. The committees are usually very, very small. And what they are people who have time to do it. A lot of people who work for a living, all the time, don't have time to be involved in these penny ante sort of politics. They're going to committee. So as much as I like a lot of the committee members, I really don't give a rat's, to be honest with you. If they're going to do a vote of no confidence, who cares? I mean, that's the first thing, right? And they're going to try to, you know what the threat is, right, John? Oh, they'll pick your method of getting elected. I mean, listen, if it's a primary or if it's a fire heist primary, I win. If they want to do a convention, which a lot of these are just shenanigans in these conventions, that's fine. I'll beat you on any battlefield. That's number one. Number two, I think when you have these blogs, it's all they are, blogs. So whether they're against me, or they're for me, about 12 people read these blogs, John. Maybe that. Mm-hmm. So that's the other thing, too, is that I have to realize I came from a normal world. I came from a world where my best counterterrorism agent in counterterrorism and also in signals intelligence was a gay man, one of the best terrorist hunters I've ever seen. I come from a diverse background where my company in the DOD this is going to be crazy to people, had black males, had white males, right? Had black females, white females, right? Actually had heterosexual and homosexual people, completely diverse. So I come from where people's performance and how they act in life and how they act towards each other are determinants of who they are as individuals. I think what you have is people put a lot of importance on maybe 2 or 3 committees that have lost their minds, or they put importance on blogs that about 12 to 15 people read. I'm here for everybody, the 735,000 people in my district. And if people choose to vote me out because of this or something like this, that's fine. I'm here to serve. I'm not here for a career. And if you think I care, or you think that I'm going to kowtow, or you think I'm going to crawl on my hands and knees to some blogs like me or a couple committee members, people have another thing coming.
Well, I love your attitude, and you have to stand up to this because it's really shameful what the blog did, and it's equally as shameful what these committee members did. But let me tell you, Denver Riggleman, we got a bigger problem with this in Virginia. And the problem is these petty grievances with these conventions and whatever else these people do. They go on and on and on. And everybody's got a grievance. Every Republican in Virginia has some axe to grind, it seems. And so they put them on the blogs and they fight with each other. And there's these Facebook chains. And here's my message, right? If the Republicans fail to keep the House of Delegates in 2019 and Eileen and the caucus of the corn takes over, the Senate's already gone. 2020 is the best they're going to do. So right now what they're faced with is Republican electoral Armageddon in Virginia. They lose Kirk Cox that speakership, it's over. The Democrats are going to control this state for 40 years. It's going to be generational. You'll never get it back. You can't raise any money. Cox is the last firewall to a complete Republican disaster where you've got Eileen Fillercorn as a speaker and communists like Lee Carter in Manassas committee chairman. I mean, it's an insane way to look at this. And so instead of spending your time helping Republicans keep the House. You're going to have these petty grievance battles with your congressmen. And then you look at 2020, where I think the president has a chance to win Virginia. If he wins these 13 electoral votes in Virginia, it's over. He's going to get reelected president. It's over.
The president's an LGBTQ supporter also, right?
The president,
and, what Kellyanne
yes.
said, and the president said, gay marriage is legal, let it go.
That's
and
right.
It is shocking because what's going to happen, John? We're going to become a localized, fragmented party,
right?
Just in certain areas, and we will never win anything again. If we're not the party of Lincoln, if we're not the party of inclusion, if we're not the party of conservative values, if we're not the party of fiscal sanity, but we're party of sort of this petty, just sort of going at each other with knives out because they're losing power in their certain little place. It's like the guy, who makes the JV baseball team, right? And is the captain of that, and he thinks somehow he can tell the varsity and also the people in college and professional baseball what's happening. You have these very small segments of people. I think their power base is threatened, and they actually believe that their views trump freedom. And if they think that, I am not their candidate. That's simple.
Well, it is. And
I am not their candidate. And if you've got a problem with it, come at me. Mm-hmm. And you see, Facebook, social media, great. But if you want to talk the difference between freedom, we have freedom of religion, but we also have what the Founding Fathers wanted was all of us to be able to pursue happiness on our own terms without views getting in our way. As long as we're not hurting other people, that's it. And there's a great saying, the right for you to throw a punch ends where my nose begins. So you can do whatever you want as long as you don't hurt me. That's what Republicans are about, not about enforcing their views on every single individual's liberty and freedoms. If they think that's going to happen, they better pack a lunch, because not only was I a bouncer, I bombed a lot of terrorists. I've been in a lot of bad places. So if they want to go against a warfighter, they better pack a lunch, John. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a long day for them.
Well, they're certainly going to attempt to challenge you in some kind of a convention or a primary coming up, and good luck doing that, because you're a fighter and you stand for what you believe in. I'm proud of what you've done. And my message to Republicans in Virginia, this party is on the brink of extinction for a generation. And
yes, it is.
You have a chance to win 2020 for the president in Virginia. If he wins Virginia, he gets reelected. Game, set, match. It's over. The president also, as you said, a supporter of LGBTQ rights. He's the one presidential candidate who was for gay rights, and he knocked the issue off the table, and we're done with it. So that's the bottom line. He got elected president. He won the primaries, and so that's the position. But the bigger picture is, look, whatever these petty grievances are, that they just keep fermenting in this party, in this state. Here's my message. Put it aside. Put it in a box. Let's get Kirk Cox reelected as Speaker. Let's get Trump to win Virginia. Let's maybe get Scott Taylor elected. Let's do that. The stakes are so high. And then here's my deal with all the Republicans who hate me and hate you and censoring you. Here's my proposition. November 4th, 2020, then let's fight. Then let's do the Facebook. Then let's call everybody out. Then let's go back and fight each other. But right now, we've got a short window in order to save Virginia and save Trump for re-election and get him reelected in 2020. Why are we fighting constantly over these petty little grievances? Why don't we come together for once and do the right thing and then fight? Why don't we do that?
Well, I'll tell you this. You see those guys. Sometimes we see the bad over the good, and I'll tell you, the support that I've gotten from Republicans is overwhelming too, John. And I think what you're saying is people are thinking, you are thinking, is that, wait a minute, we're going to exclude voter blocks based on personal belief systems and these petty grievances, as you say. And I would like to say this. I think there's hope. I think these kind of things need to happen. And I think what you're saying is other Republicans, independents, moderates, are all coming out and saying, Denver, good job. Way to go, right? This is what we need to do. So, yeah, you're going to have some people say awful things. They're going to say things that sort of, make you bristle. But the other side of it, John, nobody's seeing all this positive support. The press will only pick up the negative stuff. There's so much positive out there, so maybe we can turn the corner. If people think about this as a liberty and freedom issue, right? And think about it that we have a freedom to be who we want to be, regardless of our belief systems. And as long as we're not hurting other people, and as long as we're actually being, really conducive to the advantages we have in the United States of America, I think you're going to see much more positive come out of this than negative. So let's hope we can turn this ship. But right now, if we continue with this, sort of bickering over things that have already been settled, I fear you're correct. I think the Republican Party will lose the state House, will lose the state Senate, and we'll have a Democratic executive and a Democratic legislative branch right here in Virginia. So this is happening. So I am surprised that people can't see the long-term picture, but also I'm surprised that people can't identify where liberty and freedom is, and that my nose ends when you hit me. I mean, your liberty ends when you hit me, but as long as you're not hurting other people, I think you can do what you want to do in this great country of ours.
Well, more prophetic words have never been said. Republicans need to come together for once in Virginia and stop these squabbles, come together for 2 elections, and then we can fight later. And I tell you what, if Trump gets reelected and Kirk Cox is able to keep the speakership, there's some semblance of sanity going on, then we'll have plenty of time to be able to settle these battles and fight. And, for those of you that don't like Denver Riggleman because he did this or that, you can fight with him then. If you don't like me because I said this or that, or back some candidate you didn't like, or don't like your conventions, or whatever it is, it doesn't matter, because the stakes are so high. And so when you're focused on this nonsense, I mean, for the committee chairs, and I'm not going to call them out by name, but for the committee chairs that are spending time writing articles on blogs censoring your congressman, why don't you take that energy and do an op-ed in your local paper, or go knock on doors, or make phone calls, or do something productive to win? Because the Democrats never do this. They get together and they kick your butt, because they don't get caught up in this. They fight after it's over, not before. And that's really what the difference is. And that's what I'm urging Republicans to do. I mean, the other day, I asked somebody to volunteer for the Trump campaign. And the person says to me, you know what? I'm not going to do that because I don't like the RPV. I'm like, who? The Republican Party of Virginia. I'm like, do you realize, sir, there is no Republican Party of Virginia? It's a piece of paper with a postal permit. They have 3 employees. They're in an office where the roof leaks. They have a coffee pot they bought in 1978 at a garage sale. I mean, there is no Republican Party. You're the Republican Party of Virginia. This is the stuff that has just got to stop if we're ever going to get together. The Democrats, Denver, have got 50 full-time people right out there working now. We have 3. And so,
well, John, I mean,
it's got to stop.
The fact you had me on, I appreciate this morning. And my schedule has been crazy with people wanting interviews on everything from my border trip to this, which I just returned from on a red eye. But I think what I'm going to do, going to the next thing, I want to tell you this: we've had some support. I'll tell you this from the RPV who've seen that, and I think what we have is just so many people get so angry about things that just don't matter in the long term, and I think that's where we're at. But I promise you this, John, I'm going to continue to be me. I didn't do this for a career. I did this to serve. And if people don't want me in this, I serve at the pleasure of the 5th District. And if this actually pushes it over where I'm trying to fight for liberty and freedom, that's their call. And I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to work hard. But, sir, I think I got to head to the next one. But I really appreciate you having me on.
All right, sir, thank you. I appreciate it, Denver. Next week we'll talk about your trip to the wall. I couldn't get to that today. We'll talk about the president's new 10% tariffs on the Chinese. I'll get your thoughts on that. Denver Riggleman, Congressman Riggleman, thanks for being with us. John Fredericks Radio Network. Rob Whitman.
When it comes to your pain,